Before I start on the demonstration, I thought I'd take you through the main features and functions of this Vax Air3 Total Home vacuum cleaner, and I'll show you all the various accessories you get included with this model. Okay, we'll start at the bottom, a very good place to start. As Maria von Trapp would say, well, she didn't say that. Let's start at the beginning, a very good place to start. And when you read, you begin with ABC, but when you're demonstrating vacuum cleaners, you begin with the business end. So I'm going to show you the business end of the vacuum cleaner first. This is what achieves, according to Vax, an A rating for carpet cleaning performance and an A rating for hard floor cleaning performance. So let's turn the machine over and just have a look at this brush roll. In order to achieve an A rating for carpet cleaning performance, Vax have made some changes to the brush roll that differ to the original Air series. Now if you check back on my channel, I have tested a few Air vacuum cleaners and the brush rolls looked quite different to this one. The older models, the brushes were much softer, certainly the earlier Air models, they were much softer than this, and also they had gaps in between the brushes, which meant there was part of the cleaning path that wasn't cleaned. Also, you would have plastic guards all along the width of the nozzle, but Vax have done away with that. So like with many of these new cleaners that are coming on the market at the moment, they have done away, Dyson have done this as well, they've done away with the bars that go across the nozzle. So that's the first thing they've done. The second thing, they've changed the brushes. Not only have they made them much stiffer than the previous models, but they're also continuous. As I turn it, you can see that there are no gaps. The brushes are continuous right across. And the way they're designed is to suction up the dirt into the main air path. So they sweep up the dirt and debris in this direction. As you can see, as I'm turning the brush by hand, the brushes are designed to sweep the debris into the main air path. This is where the strongest suction will be, because this is where the hose is, where the suction enters the nozzle. It's also narrower, so it's concentrating the suction in a more narrow area, which improves pickup, but it does have disadvantages, and I'll explain that later, especially on some hard floors and some carpets. So that's two main differences. There's also a little felt fabricy strip here, I assume is to help with the gliding on hard floors, and you've got the same little material strips, a little one there and a two on this side. You've also got two little roller wheels, and at the back you've got two larger wheels. So these all combined are supposed to make this machine manoeuvrable. Whether it does in practice, we will have to find out. So anyway, that is the gubbins, that's the business end of the vacuum cleaner. Moving on up, we have of course the bagless bin, because the Air3 Total Home, like so many other vacuum cleaners nowadays, is bagless, and it's multi-cyclonic. One clue to the fact that this is multi-cyclonic as opposed to just a single or dual cyclonic cleaner are these exposed red cyclones here. And unlike some cleaners that give you the impression that they're multi-cyclonic, but it's just a design element, one cleaner I can think of was the Goblin handheld vacuum I demonstrated. It gave the impression that there was more than one cyclone in that machine, but these are official cyclones. I'll show you those in more detail. So here's the bin, and to remove it there is a button on the top and the whole bin comes off, and those little red lever, little red switch at the bottom, you just press that to open the trap door, and in theory all the dust should fall out. You might have to give it a bit of a shake. This is the maximum fill line on the machine there. It's full size capacity. I can't recall what capacity this is, but I'll put it down in the notes underneath. Now on the top, to access the filters, whoops, you'll see there is an arrow either side of the top of the cyclone unit, so just twist the top to remove the top. which gives you access to the filter. Now I'm going to show you the filter before the demonstration. After I've done the full demo, we'll have a look at the filter at the end of the video just to see how effective the cyclones were at separating the dirt and keeping the dirt away from the filter. Now I have used this machine a bit, not a lot, maybe half an hour at most, and I have actually vacuumed that. It's not been washed, you can wash these, but I've just vacuumed it with another vacuum cleaner. So it's slightly grubby, it's not as white as it was when it was brand new, but it is free of any visible surface debris. So remember that. We'll see what it looks like after the full demos. And a little bit of dust is in the top of the cyclones. I thought I'd cleaned it out. As you can see, it's multi-cyclonic. While I'm here, if you need to give the machine a bit more of a clean out, because there's a shroud in here that does get caked in dirt and hairs from time to time, you can actually just remove this. You can rinse out the bin, and then you've got easier access to the internal parts. This all comes apart, I won't do it now, but you can just twist this part off. This little bung seal comes off, you can pull this piece off, you can pull the shroud off, and I've actually washed these in soapy water, these parts, and you can give everything a wipe down. Make sure it's 100% dry, of course, before you reassemble it. And putting it back in the bin is easy. You just need to line up. There's a little U shape here, and that corresponds with a U shape on the top of the bin. So basically it won't allow you to put it in until it's lined up like that. Make sure, of course, the filter is back in place. That's the side that goes uppermost. It's got this little bit of material to help you remove the filter, so make sure that goes back in the top. And then you just have to line up the arrows. As you can see there's an open and closed padlock. Just need to line up that arrow there. Let's hang on a minute, that's yes, no. There we go, line it up and then twist until it's locked in place. I'll just show you the final motor filter. You do need to look at that from time to time. When you remove the bin, you'll see the HEPA media filter directly underneath. To gain access to that, you just twist the cage on top, remove it, and then you can see the post motor filter underneath. To clean it, you're not supposed to wash this in water. You're supposed to just tap it clean, either outside or on the side of a bin, and then put it back in the machine. Now, the black that you can see on the filter is actually carbon dust. Most vacuum cleaners produce carbon dust from the motors in use, unless they are a brushless motor, which is quite rare at the moment in vacuum cleaners. Dyson's Digital Slim vacuum cleaners have a brushless motor, but the majority of vacuum cleaners you can buy now use carbon brushes. And that carbon does wear down and it is released into the air as the motor's running. So this post HEPA filter is supposed to catch that, which is why you can already see there's some black debris on that filter. So all you can do with that is tap it clean. Of course, if it was to get very dirty, you can replace them. Actually says on here how to clean it. There is this little sticker that shows you tapping the filter. So don't wash this. The other filter is washable, rinseable, but don't wash that filter. Once you've cleaned that, you just pop the cage back, twist until it locks in position, and then you can pop the bin back on the top. Viewing the cleaner from above, we can see it has two switches. The back switch operates the main suction motor, and the front switch operates the brush motor, which is independent of the suction motor. This means you can turn the brush motor off when you're cleaning hard floors or if you're cleaning delicate rugs. Also at the back of the machine we've got the wand release button, so just press that down and you can remove the entire handle, which also forms the wand when you're using the machine for above floor cleaning. Obviously I'll demonstrate that later in the video. Speaking of the handle, while I've got it in my hand, it is fully adjustable. In this position it's its lowest height, which is good for storage or if you're very short, or you can actually increase or decrease the height to suit you. So if you're a bit taller, obviously you'll want it fully extended. But like I say, you can have it fully compacted down, which makes it easier to store in a cupboard that doesn't have so much head height. But you can, of course, just store the handle separately, and it makes the machine even lower. So if you need to put it right at the back of, say, your cupboard under the stairs, you can push it, a bit further back than you would normally if the handle was attached. At the back of the cleaner, you've got the cord storage, and this model has an impressive 10-metre cord, so that should be more than enough for you to clean most of your downstairs without having to unplug and replug. To release this cord, you have a little hook at the top, just turn it down and the whole cord comes off in one go. You've also got a little clip at this end which secures the plug, enabling you to carry the machine without the cord unravelling. Two tools store on board the machine with this Vax Air3 Total Home. This is the first tool stored on the back. It's your general purpose nozzle for doing your upholstery and your curtains, that sort of thing. It's an odd shaped nozzle. I don't really care for this sort of shaped nozzle, but anyway, you can use it on your upholstery, etc. It's got litter pickers all the way around that help deal with pet hairs. And the other tool you get is this 2-in-1 crevice tool and dusting brush attachment. So you can use it without the brush. You can take the brush off entirely if you want to. Just press the little button that says Vax and that will come off completely. So you can use that in your car, behind the car seats, in between the front seats where the gear lever is, down the side of your sofas, that sort of thing. And you can attach the brush, which you'd normally leave on board actually. It's fairly soft enough to do, say, the tops of your skirting boards, your shelving. I wouldn't use it on your flat screen TV. It's soft enough to use on your computer keyboard, but that's a general purpose brush, so you can have it in that position or that position, and that stores on board. The other item that stores on board is the stretch hose. This is a stair cleaning hose. Now Vax claim this will clean a standard flight of stairs, but I don't take Vax's word for it. Of course, I'll be testing the stair cleaning ability of this machine later on in the video. Just before I get on to demonstrating this vacuum cleaner, I'll show you the 3 other cleaning tools you get supplied with this particular version of the Vax Air 3. It's called the Total Home because it comes with these additional tools. Some are more useful than others. This tool though is one of the useful ones. Look at that. That is a very, very long, flexible crevice tool. Now that is long enough to do down the side. Say you've got your automatic washing machine in your kitchen and there's a little gap between the washing machine and the wall, or your washer and dryer, there's a little gap in between. You can take this nozzle and go right to the wall, front and back, to get, what gets gathered underneath your appliances. If you've got pets, you'll find a lot of hair gets under there. Also, dog food gets under there, cat litter, general crumbs, things you don't want to leave, because obviously if you leave bits of food, crumbs all over your kitchen, you can attract some unwanted visitors. So this flexible tool should get into all those nooks and certainly all your crannies to give you a very clean home. So that's the theory, but I'll be testing this out. I've got some dirt I know needs removing, so I'll be trying it out with this flexible tool. This tool, I'm not really sure of its value. It's the fluff and fur tool, I believe Vax call it, and it's meant for pet hair removal, hence the paw print on the front. But all it is 3 quite rigid plastic blades that basically I think are designed to help scrape any pet hair off your upholstery, your pet bedding, etc. And once you've scraped the pet hair off, it should go into the machine through the suction channels. Another device which is also designed for removing pet hair, but you don't have to have pets, because this sort of tool is good for doing a deep down clean, save your car mats. Slightly better than just using suction only. This is a turbo tool, pretty standard on many vacuums now. So it has a rotating brush powered by the suction of the vacuum to help remove your pet hairs and to help give a bit of agitation to remove anything more stubborn that suction can't cope with. So they are the 3 extra cleaning tools you get with the Vax Air 3 Total Home. Okay, we've seen everything, we've seen the tools, we've seen the machine. Now we need to see if this machine picks up the dirt. What you're looking at now is rather an extreme mess that I've spread all over my living room carpet. Now obviously there's various different things in here designed to test the Vax's performance. So the main thing you'll probably be able to see is a lot of cut up bits of paper. So any vacuum cleaner should be able to deal with that. It's surface litter. There's also quite a lot of hairs under all this as well. You can see a few larger clumps of hair which are a mixture of dog hairs and fibres from a wool rug. There's also other things that I've thrown on the floor over various demonstrations that I've just thrown back. So there's a lot of dust, there's couscous in here, there's rice particles. There is a lot of mess on this carpet. So, in time-honoured tradition, I'm going to pass the Vax Air3 Total Home forward and back through the middle of this mess, and then we'll evaluate the results, see how clean the path is that I've just cleaned up with the Vax. Well, that is why this machine has got an A rating for carpet cleaning. I'm quite happy to walk in the middle of this now with my new socks on. That is pretty impressive. Looking a bit closer, yeah, I can't feel any dirt, there's no gritty particles. That is absolutely superb. You can see, and I can just about see my camera viewfinder from here, but look at that. I'm surrounded by filth, but I'm quite happy to kneel in the middle of this dirt because I've passed it, well, I've passed the Vax over this mess. Fantastic. Well, I'm not going to leave the rest of this. I'm going to clean all of this up using the Vax, fill it to capacity and see how it still manages to pick up. Hopefully it will, even on a full dustbin with its no loss of suction. I'll do a few more shots. We'll get some close-up shots as well of all the dirt going inside this cleaner. Just a few moments ago, this carpet was absolutely covered in all sorts of mess, but I can detect not a single trace of dirt left on the carpet. And this is the same carpet. I've not tricked you into believing I've just laid a brand new carpet. And this machine, although it's a very short pile carpet, it has actually groomed the pile and lifted it up. So, where is all this dirt, you may ask? It's certainly not in the carpet, but where it is inside the bin here. So I'll just remove the bin, and we can see that this is where all that dirt is that just a few moments ago was all over the carpet. So it's pretty impressive carpet cleaning performance. As I say, it gets an A rating for carpet cleaning performance, and I can vouch for that. I would have given it a definite thumbs up, 5 out of 5 myself. Here is all the dirt coming out. There's still more, I can't look. So it was filled right up to capacity, it was still picking up towards the end. So after a bit of a shake, it's more or less removed everything from inside the bin. It's a little bit dusty, I'll need to give that a wipe over, but I don't have to touch the bottom of the flap, I can just go like that. Preferably do that outside if you suffer from any dust related allergies. But all this has been removed by the Vax. Fortunately, the cleaning head, the nice clear cleaning head, is a little bit dirty now, but it's done a very impressive job on the carpets. Okay, before I go into the kitchen, where I don't think it's going to fare quite so well, I'm going to test the small turbo brush. So I'm going to spread this out again, and we'll just see how effective the turbo brush is. Before you use any of the cleaning tools, you need to remove the hose from the base of the machine, and to do that you just press this red lever here and the hose comes away. Now the hose that's actually attached to the machine, it's long enough to whip out and do like your nooks and crannies. If you see some dust in a corner, you can just take the hose off and direct the hose to the problem area. Or of course you can attach the handle, which becomes the wand, that just fits on here like that. So now you have a bit more reach, and the supplied onboard hose is long enough to do your upholstery and, as I said, your nooks and crannies. In order to do your stairs though, you do need to connect the stair cleaning hose, which I will show you later on in the video. But for the demonstration I'm about to do with the turbo nozzle, I think what I might do is put the turbo nozzle onto the end here and pass it back and forth through the dirt behind me and see how effective the turbo nozzle is at removing dirt. Obviously the turbo nozzle isn't really designed for this sort of mess, it's more designed for pet hair pickup, and if I find some pet hair I will demonstrate it on some upholstery. But just to judge the effectiveness at general cleaning, I'm just going to again pass the nozzle directly backwards and forwards through the mess, and we'll just see how clean it leaves it. Well, not quite as good as the main upright, but you can definitely see where I've been. Unlike the main upright though, you do have an uncleaned line where the belt is positioned. On the upright the belt's to one side, so you're not going to get an uncleaned path in the middle, but it won't clean right up to the edge. But as you can see, it's not done bad, considering there was rather a lot of mess on the carpet. I'll pick some more of this mess up, and then we'll go into the kitchen and see how the Vax copes on my hard floor. Okay, so I'm in my kitchen now and I've thrown down a lot of dirt onto my cushioned vinyl floor. The dirt that you can see includes flour, salt, couscous, rice, and a little bit of the debris from the carpet cleaning demonstration. So there's more dust there, and some of the fibres and the paper. Now, I'm not sure this machine's going to do very well on my particular floor. Now, this is a cushion vinyl floor, and cushion vinyl floors don't tend to be stuck down. They tend to be stuck down around the edges of a room, but powerful vacuum cleaners can suck the floor into the nozzle and you're not getting very good cleaning results. Also, the machine is very hard to push. I've had this experience with quite a few vacuum cleaners, and to be honest, I can't blame the vacuum cleaner. It's more to do with the floor. If you've got stuck down floor, if you've got laminate, if you've got tiled floors that don't move when you pass a vacuum cleaner over them, the results you may get will be better than I think I'm going to get. I don't know. It might do better than I'm thinking. It does get an A rating for floors. It has passed the A rating. So anyway, I don't know what it's going to do until I test it. So I'm going to switch on. For the floor, you don't want the brush roll running, so I'm going to make sure the brush roll is switched off, and I'm just going to have suction only. So like I say, this might be very difficult to push on this particular floor, and we might end up not having a very good result. Here goes. Well, that isn't too bad. On the forward pass, excuse me, on the forward pass, it was fairly easy to push. It was just when I was pulling the machine back, then I could feel the actual suction causing a bit of trouble, actually moving the cleaning nozzle, and I could feel the floor was actually sticking underneath the machine. But apart from that, on the forward pass, it did pretty well. As you can see, it has left, just out of camera shot, you can just about see, it has left this bit of fluff. But all in all, actually, that's pretty good, considering this floor has failed many vacuums I've tested on it just because of the nature of the floor. It doesn't do well. But it was a little bit difficult to pull back the machine, fairly easy to push, but because the suction's so powerful, it might struggle on certain floors. It would be nice if Vax could give you the option of being able to turn the suction down slightly for examples like this. There's also a problem with this machine on some rugs, and I'll show you that problem shortly. But it's done a little bit better than I thought. I'm only going to give it 4 out of 5 on this particular floor. Results, of course, will vary depending on what floor surfaces you have in your home. But anyway, before I go on to test some more dirt on this vacuum, I need to clean up this. Otherwise, I'm going to be in trouble when a certain person comes home. Well, I have to say, yes, I did struggle cleaning this particular floor. It's missed that. It has cleaned it. I mean, it will clean it if I spend a little bit more time. I don't have time to do everything on this video, but the areas I've done, it's done a good job, but it was very difficult to push and pull on this particular floor. Also, it was making a lot of disconcerting scraping noises. So if your floor is particularly delicate, I probably wouldn't use this machine on your floor, but then I wouldn't really recommend using most upright vacuum cleaners on your hard floors. You are better off using a straight suction nozzle, especially if you have delicate floors to clean. I'm at the bottom of my stairs now in order to test if the Vax Air3 Total Home will clean a standard flight of 13 stairs. This is a stair cleaning hose that's stored on board. Now, eagle-eyed viewers among you may realise that I didn't actually have this attached to the machine when I was doing the demonstrations. The reason for that is, well, it adds to the weight of the cleaner for one. I don't like the look of this hose on the side, and another thing, when you're using the machine it does tend to suffer from this. It's almost as if the Vax Air3 Total Home has been out on the town, if you know what I mean, having rather too many baby shams, and it has a little bit of a problem. So I don't like it. It's just hangs like that, and it knocks about and it gets in the way. It really is not a very good way of storing the onboard hose. Personally, I just take the hose off, keep it in the cupboard, and then take it out when I need it. A little bit inconvenient, but it's better than having it hitting me in the legs all the time. Okay, in order to use the stair cleaning hose, we first, of course, need to detach the hose from the machine. Pull that off. And then on the end of this, we need to clip the extension hose. Push it until it clips and it swivels. Make sure it is in place. I can't pull that apart until I press the little lever there. So that's clicked nicely into place. First of all, I'm going to see if the hose will reach up just with the hose end, not actually attaching the extension tube. So just going to put on the turbo nozzle, which of course you can use for your stairs if you want to. I'm just going to reposition the Vax this way round. There we go. So I'm just going to go to the top of the stairs, or as far as I can go, and we'll see how far the machine stretches up. Right, I'm poised at the bottom of my stairs with the nozzle attached directly to the end of the hose, and we'll count how many stairs I can get up without too much difficulty. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I can just about clean 11 steps without having to use the extension wand. But with the extension wand, which I'll just remove from the machine, pop the nozzle onto the end of that, and then I can clip the hose onto the end of the wand there. Now let's see if it'll reach any further. Well, I'm at the point I was before, but with the additional length of the tube, the extension tube, I could certainly clean another stair. So that's 12, and probably at a push you could clean 13 stairs using the Vax Air3 Total Home. Pet hair can be a nightmare to remove off all surfaces it lands on, as any pet owner will know. So we've got two nozzles designed to help with pet hair with this machine. We've got the turbo nozzle, which is pretty familiar to many of you, and this rather unusual fur and fluff tool that Vax also provide. Now, one of my dogs doesn't shed at all, hardly anyway, and the other one has just been groomed, and she's not really producing much hair. But fortunately I have a supplier, a rather lovely golden retriever named Lolly, and in this bag we have, well, that's not just Lolly's hair, there is more hair here. We must have had, I forgot, I'd saved up some hair from a grooming session. Anyway, we've got some golden retriever hair here, which is quite greasy and it does tend to stick to everything, and some, by the feel, and of, oh, that's lovely and soft. Could stuff a cushion with that. That's for my long hair miniature dachshund Daisy. So let's just get some of this hair on this footstool, which is a footstool, but it's also used for the dogs. The dogs tend to get up on here quite a lot. And I'm going to rub this in. Actually, Daisy's hair seems to be sticking more than Lolly's. It's showing up a little bit better as well. So let's just get it rubbed in. There we go. I can smell Lolly on this. She's a lovely dog, but she does have a bit of an odour about her, and it's obviously from her fur, because that's the smell I'm getting at the moment. Okay, I've put quite a lot of hair down on this footstool, enough for us to test the effectiveness of both these nozzles, the traditional turbo nozzle and the fur and fluff tool. I believe that's what Vax call it, fur and fluff. We'll start with the traditional turbo nozzle with the rotating brushes. I'll just pass the nozzle backwards and forwards. Let me just move the machine a bit closer. I'll pass the nozzle back and forward through one side of the pet hair, and then I'll do the same but using the fur and fluff tool. So let's start with the main turbo nozzle first. Now it has slowed down, as this sort of nozzle does tend to do. They do tend to slow down slightly on certain fabrics. Apart from the fact it did slow down and there were a few big clumps of pet hair, it does seem to have removed everything, so that's pretty good. There is a bit of cleaning needed to do. Some of the pet hair has caught on the brush, but that won't take me too long. This comes apart for easy access. You can take the whole top cover of this off and you can clear out any hairs that might have got caught. But this was a big extreme example. Hopefully you won't have as much hair to deal with in one go as I just did. Okay, that is the traditional tool. We'll see how the fur and fluff tool copes. I was hoping I could attach this, but there's one thing I didn't show you, which I'm not sure where it's gone to. There is a little adapter that comes with this machine, and I'm assuming that's what the adapter's for, because I can't actually put this fur and fluff tool directly onto the end of the hose. But if you just bear with me, I do have a little adapter that should solve that problem. I'm back. Apologies, I didn't manage to find the little adapter. It has gone walkabout. I knew there was a reason for it, and now I know why. Anyway, you do actually get supplied a little grey plastic adapter that enables you to fit this tool. I assume that's what it's for. Enables you to fit this tool directly to the hose end here. But because I can't, I fitted it to the end of the extension tube, which you don't need a special tool for. It will just fit directly on to the end of the wand. So I'm just going to try clean up the rest of this pet hair, but this time using the fur and fluff tool. Well, I think it's more or less got everything up, but it was a lot harder work than using the turbo tool. I'm not really sure how you're supposed to use this particular tool, so I just went all hell for leather and did it like this, did it like that. Anyway, it's removed it. Oh no, well, I've missed a little bit of golden retriever hair which you can't really see. So I'm not really sure about the effectiveness of that particular nozzle, but I think as far as pet hair removal goes, you're far better sticking with the tried and tested turbo brush. But as I say, you get both of these supplied, so with both of these you should be able to remove all the pet hair in your home. Before summing up the Vax Air3 Total Home, I couldn't go without demonstrating the extra long, extra flexible Crevice tool. So we've made a little bit of a mess here, and this is the sort of scenario that this tool is ideal for. We've got a very heavy fridge freezer that even on spring cleaning days you don't really want to be moving that. And we have a gap here that's far too narrow for most nozzles to go down, but of course we should be able to reach it using the extra long flexible Crevice tool. So before I sum up this vacuum cleaner for you, we're going to do one final demonstration and hopefully we'll be able to remove all this dirt. Not too bad. I might need to get a damp cloth to get some of the finest bits, but that's removed the majority of muck. So all in all, it's done as it should. It's removed all that dirt. One problem I have with this Vax cleaner is when I come to clean this rug I have in my living room. Now it's quite a heavy weight rug, it's a wool rug, and it's designed really not to be cleaned with an upright cleaner according to the manufacturer's instructions, but having a home with pets I do tend to use my uprights on this. Some uprights completely fail when it comes to cleaning this rug. Now this is not the only culprit, my Dyson DC40 also suffers from this. Now I'll try it out live, well I'll record it live. I'm going to use the machine, but I think I'll find that the brush will cut off because the suction is so powerful and concentrated. It's very hard to push the machine. This in turn makes the brush struggle on the rug, and then the built-in cutout stops the brush from rotating to protect the belt. So I'll just pass the machine a few times over this rug and I'll try and show you what I mean. Now, as you can see, almost immediately the brush cut out, and that's indicated by a red light. So if I turn it on again, it did reset itself, but then of course it sensed that the brush roll was restricted and it cut out again. So it's not suitable, in my opinion, for lightweight rugs, even a heavyweight rug. Of certain rugs, this machine will be far too powerful. If you've got a smaller doormat, just forget it. It will not clean it. The machine will just grip the mat to the body of the underside and it will cut out. You would have to connect an attachment to the hose in order to clean your rugs, which isn't very convenient. So unfortunately on this type of carpet or a lightweight rug, it's not really suitable. Well, I've finished all my demonstrations now. I've emptied the bin. It's rather dusty. I'm covered in dust, but I did have rather a lot of mess to dispose of. And I said at the start of the video I'd show you the filter when I finished all my demonstrations. We're just going to see how dirty the filter is, just to see how effective this multi-cyclonic unit is. So the more effective a cleaner is at retaining the dirt, the less dirt should be on the filter. Let's have a look. Now I haven't opened this, I've not had a preview. So what we're about to see will be for the first time. Now obviously that's the top of the filter, so that still looks quite clean, but it's the underside of the filter which will be the real test. Now that isn't bad. Now if you look at the top of the cyclone unit, it's quite a lot of fine dust, gritty dust there actually, that has managed to get through the cyclones, but it hasn't actually passed through the filter. That side of the filter is quite clean. All we've got actually on the underside of the filter, and I've noticed this before when I've used this machine, some of the hairs and the carpet fibres have passed through, and there is some fine dust on there, but it's not too bad considering the amount of dirt I've been picking up in this demonstration. It would equate to a few weeks worth of use, I would have thought, in a regular home. So as long as you maintain the filter as per the instructions, wash it, dry it for 24 hours, put it back in the machine, it should still operate efficiently. One tip, if you've got more than one vacuum cleaner, as I do, you can use a vacuum cleaner to clean the filter in between washing it. So I would recommend not washing it, as if you can suction clean it, it's far better to do that. Wash it occasionally, but you can get the majority of the dust and dirt off the filter by using another vacuum cleaner, going over it a few times and then putting it back. That has the advantage, of course, you're not having to wait for the filter to dry. It's ready to use straight away. So before I put this machine away, I will be doing that. I'll be giving this a good clean out, dismantling all of this and cleaning it. But that's not bad, the result. So the filtration system, the cyclones in this Vax Air3 Total Home do seem fairly effective at retaining the dirt. Well, that just about concludes my demonstration of the Vax Air3 Total Home Upright Vacuum Cleaner. Is it going to be a thumbs up? Is it going to be a thumbs down? Or is it going to be a, it's alright, but, well, a bit of both really. It'll be a thumbs up if you've got certain floor coverings in your home, but a thumbs down if you haven't. Now it's a thumbs down if you mainly have hard floors that aren't stuck down, or you have a lot of lightweight rugs. This machine is far too powerful. As you saw earlier on, I tried this machine on a very heavyweight wool mix rug and it just won't cope. The brush cuts off, and even on suction only it's very hard to push. Saying that, on a regular pile carpet like the one in my living room, it's 5 out of 5 for performance. I was absolutely blown away by the performance of this machine on certain carpets. Now hard floors, again, on my particular floor it didn't do very well, but it's a cushion vinyl, so if you've got cushion vinyl flooring I probably wouldn't recommend this particular Vax. Now the problem is with this machine, because it's so powerful, it's too powerful. And there is no way of turning the power down. There's no electronic speed control or any sort of control on the cleaning head. Even if Vax was to supply a little dial or a little slider control so you could reduce the suction power at the cleaning head, it would make things a lot easier on certain floor coverings, especially lightweight rugs. Or even if they incorporated a height control so you could raise or lower the height of the nozzle. So if you've got mainly short pile, cut pile carpets, not loop pile, short cut pile carpets, this is a pretty effective vacuum cleaner, but you might find it can be difficult to push on some carpets. Unfortunately, I can't come to your home and try it out. The only way you'll know is to try it out in your own home. So hopefully, if it doesn't work in your home, if it's too hard to push, as many people have complained, various reviews I've looked at, that is one complaint of this machine and similar machines like this, because it's so powerful it can be difficult to push on certain carpets and floors. But saying that, I'm going to give it 4.5 out of 5. No, that's a bit generous. I'll give it 4 out of 5. Providing you have suitable carpets and floors, it's a very good vacuum cleaner. 900 watts, so it's energy efficient, so it gets an A rating for energy. If you have dust allergies, it's got an A rating for dust emissions, but of course as soon as you empty a bagless machine, the dust can go up in the air, so you might have to get somebody else to empty it for you outside if you have particular sensitivities to dust. You get an A rated carpet cleaning performance, which I certainly would agree with, and an A rated hard floor. Yes, it did okay, but not on my particular hard floor. So it gets an A rating, but I'm not sure what sort of floor covering it's tested on. Saying that, it's fairly lightweight. Things I don't like about it, I don't like the extension hose attached to the side of the machine, but at least you can remove it. It goes like that all the time, hits you in the legs, but you can take it off. It's got a very long 10-metre cable. That's a good thumbs up. I like a vacuum cleaner to have 10 metres of cable, so you can plug it into one socket, and most homes you'll be able to clean the whole ground floor with the machine plugged into one socket. So that's about it. That's the Vax Air3 Total Home. I'd just like to point out that Vax didn't supply me with this vacuum cleaner. I bought it myself, so any views I give are my honest views, and the experience I've shown you are from a domestic situation in a real home. So the results I got in my home may be different to the results you get in yours. So just bear that in mind. Anyway, if you'd like the video, please subscribe and you'll be updated every time I upload a new floor care video. And if you want a bit of background information, of some sneak peeks, some preview pictures, some exclusive content, I have a new Facebook page. Again, the link is below. If you can't click on the link, just search iBasiak on Facebook and you should come across my page on there. So until the next time, it's goodbye and I'll see you very soon.